Well, the Albanese government looks like it's chalked up a win in the Pacific, following a blitz of meetings with Pacific Island leaders in Fiji. But Opposition Leader Peter Dutton is not convinced, saying it's crab walking away from AUKUS as it becomes preoccupied with making Pacific friends and failing to spend more on bolstering national defence. Now, Labor has managed to, at least in principle, strengthen regional partnerships while reconnecting with China, and under a 4-year pilot visa program will attempt to address employment shortfalls here, especially in the aged care sector. To discuss this and a whole lot more, I'm joined now by Nationals MP Keith Pitt and former Labor Senator Graham Richardson. What an unlikely pair you two are.
We're good mates.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hey, it's great to be with you. Hey.
That is good. I like to see that on this Pacific Workers scheme. Keith, do we think this is a positive move, or is Labor just papering over addressing real issues like wages and enterprise bargaining? I guess if we're calling for overseas workers, if we can make it happen, it's got to be a good thing, doesn't it?
Oh, there's been a Pacific Workers scheme in place for many years. It's been very successful and it'll continue to be into the future. So, look, I congratulate them on any increase that can be there. But, yeah, the Coalition put these things in place and they've worked. There's some challenges in Australia because, they are very strict around these schemes. But there's a 500,000 job shortfall right now in terms of people to fill those jobs. That's where the fundamental problems are. We've almost got more jobs than we have people who are unemployed, which is quite incredible. I think it's the lowest unemployment rate since 1974. And no surprise, Labor's claimed that that's all because of them, not the 9 years of coalition economic management. But I'll tell you who was worth their powder and shot this week, Chris. That was the Queensland Origin team on Wednesday at Suncorp.
Stop.
This is not about football. This is about politics. No football.
But Richo, that's a very good point, isn't it? Here we have, 860,000 unemployed, those on Job Seeker. We've got 500,000 positions. We've got an unemployment rate of 3.5, 3.3 in New South Wales. That tells me we're at full employment and we've got a whole heap of people who don't want to work.
I think you'll always have some people who won't work. I know that's not the official line of Labor, but I think it's a fact. You are going to get some people who just won't work. And I think society has a view of them, which is probably appropriate. But I think by far the great majority of people who don't have a job want one. And I think we should be out helping them rather than worrying about those other few. We should stop focusing on whether or not they're all at Byron Bay riding waves. I think that there's more to life than that.
Keith, I see Prime Minister Sogavare from Solomon Islands hug longingly Anthony Albanese, and Anthony Albanese hug longingly Prime Minister Sogavare. I can't help but think that many of these Pacific Island leaders are quite happy to be courted by Australia and China.
Well, I think that's right. I'm not a big hugger. I've met the Prime Minister Sogavare a number of times. I don't recall getting a hug as a greeting. But look, congratulations to them. And we were clearly restricted from that personal interaction because of COVID. I don't think anyone's surprised about that. But it'll continue to be a very challenging foreign affairs space internationally, whether it's through the Pacific, whether it's the US and their arrangements and what they are doing. But I think the point I'd want to make, and I make it very clearly, is that our sovereignty is not for sale. It'll never be for sale, regardless of whether you put pressure on us from trade, for defence. This nation has always stood for itself and for its people, and that'll continue into the future.